So we recently scaled an ad account from spending $0 to spending $30,000 in the first 30 days. And in those first 30 days, we generated back $316,000 in sales, meaning we got a 9.x ROAS. Now, one of the biggest reasons why we were able to get such a great return was because of this one ad that we created for our client. So what I'm going to do in this video is break down the ad, explain why it works so well, so you can use it as well for your own business. Now, obviously for client confidentiality, I'm not going to share the ad, plus I don't want any of the copycats in our space copying the exact ad. Now, some of you might be like, oh, well, that sucks. And I say, tough, I don't need to share it, but the details of what actually the ad looks like doesn't matter. It is the marketing and sales principles that went into the ad that meant that it converted so well. And it's the same marketing and sales principles that you can use to make your ads convert well as well, regardless if you are a competitor of ours or you sell a completely different product. But I will explain a bit more about the ad. So it was a coaching program teaching beginners how to basically start and grow their own online business. Now, the ad that worked so well for us was a video ad that we had the client create. Now, the ad started with the client holding up their laptop, and on their laptop was basically the first video that they ever posted online as part of their brand. And the whole idea around the video was, hey, look at the first video that I created. It sucked. The editing was off. It was horrible lighting. I filmed it with a really ugly backdrop. But guess what? I still posted it. And since then, I've gone on to make millions of dollars with this online business. This particular video has thousands of views. And the entire success of my business started from when I decided to post this imperfect video. So the big idea around the ad was, hey, look, even though you look at me right now and see that I'm successful, look at what I was like a few years ago. Look at the quality of the work that I produced when I first started, but I didn't let that hold me back. I still posted it anyway. And it was from taking that action, even though the video wasn't perfect, that allowed me to go on and become successful. So let's break down the ad and explain why it worked so well. Now, number one, the reason why this ad worked so well is because we knew the avatar on a deep level. I've personally been working with this client for nearly 2 years now. And obviously the client has been in the space for, I think, for maybe like 7 to 8 years. And they've been serving the exact same type of customer for that entire 8 years. So the way you create great ads, the way you create great video scripts, and the way you understand great marketing is by understanding your avatar on a deep level. So you need to know what your ideal avatar's hopes, dreams, fears, and frustrations are. And if you know what these are on a deep and accurate level, then you've already won half the battle in writing great ad copy. Because what a lot of people do is they think about what they think the avatar is going through, and they write ads based on that without actually going out and doing any market research or actually knowing who the avatar really is. So in the ad that I just mentioned, in that example, our avatar had a lot of fear about posting their content online because they didn't feel like they were good enough. And we also knew that one of the biggest frustrations of our avatar was that they didn't grow up in like the tech era. They were typically, 40s, 50s, 60s-year-old. So they weren't as comfortable with technology as a 20-year-old would be. And that was a big frustration because they didn't know how to video edit. They didn't know how to create a website. So this was a big frustration for them. And then when the client said, hey, look, in spite of me not being very good at those things, I was able to go and create freedom for myself, take care of my family, be able to travel the world, be able to leave my 9-to-5 job. These were obviously all hopes and dreams and values of our ideal client. So at every point in the ad, we were speaking and connecting to them. Number two, the reason why it works so well is that the ad was relatable, and that does say relatable, trust me, is the fact that the ad was relatable to the ideal prospect. So we didn't just start the ad being like, hey, look at me, look how amazing I am, look at all the results I've gotten, people. If you want to learn to be just like me, then click the ad and buy. Because even though some of that type of marketing can work, a lot of the people are going to look at that and feel like it's not very obtainable, and they're not going to relate to someone who is painting themselves to be so incredible and amazing. What people relate to is their own situation. And right now, our ideal customer is struggling. They are struggling with the business side of things. They're struggling with the marketing. They're struggling with the tech. So instead of us painting the client on this pedestal, being like, look how amazing they are, we actually brought him down to their level and was like, look, I fucking sucked at this in the beginning. You might look at me now and think, oh, I've got it all figured out and I've got all these fancy edits and all this sort of good stuff. But just look what I was doing a few years ago. I was just like you. And that obviously is relatable. It creates a lot of trust, but it also empowers and instills a belief within the prospect that, oh, he sucked just like me and now he's successful. Maybe I can be successful too. And therefore they're going to feel more confident and empowered to actually click, learn more, and actually become a customer and actually take action, because now they actually believe that it's true for them because they've seen someone who was in a relatable position to them who is now successful, so they believe it can happen for them too. So we knew who our avatar was, we related to their pain, and now what we wanted to do was show what's possible. SWP. Completely just made that acronym up. I just couldn't be bothered to write the whole sentence out. So following on from my last point, now that we have related to them and they're just like, oh, this person's just like me, now we're going to show them what's possible with the limited skill set. And this is where we can now start talking about ourselves a little bit, our achievements, what our lifestyle is like. But we can only really do that safely because we've done the part before, which was relating to their pain and showing them that we were once just like them. And what we're doing is creating a pathway from where they are now to the future version of themselves that is, waiting on the other side of them basically taking action. We're creating that little gap between where they are to where they want to be. But again, you got to understand what your avatar wants. There was no point us basically saying, hey, create this business so you can take care of your loved ones, your family. You don't have to wait until you're 65 to retire. You can retire early. There's no point in us having that messaging if we were targeting like 18-year-olds, because 18 to 20-year-olds, they're not necessarily thinking about wanting to retire early. They've hardly started working. And yes, okay, maybe they do want to look after their loved ones, but 18 to 20-year-olds probably more stereotypically want to go and travel, want to go and party, want to go and live like a more baller lifestyle. So again, you can't just future pace anything. You have to future pace a reality that your audience is going to connect with. So once we've created the gap between where they are and what is actually possible, we now need to make them a great offer. And this great offer is going to bridge that gap between reality to future reality. Now, one of the reasons why this campaign worked so well is because we did something slightly different to the rest of the market. So at this point in the ad, most people would send them through to a sales page where they can buy, a webinar to opt into, or maybe like a short VSL training where they would give them a video that is 10 minutes long and then ask them to book in a call. But what we were promoting in the ad was free beta access to our new course. So the client basically filmed a brand new course. It was 3 weeks long. And inside of the first 2 modules, there's probably like 10 to 12 different videos. So it wasn't a free course, but it was like a 20-minute training. It was a legit new filmed online course that we could have potentially sold for money. And the offer in the ad was, hey, we're releasing this course for the first time. We're looking for beta testers to go through the course for the first time for free. And in return, all we ask is for you to give us feedback. And if you got value and results from the course, then just leave us a testimonial. Now, this was a great offer because number one, the course was teaching them how to close the gap from the pain in which they're currently in to the future dream reality that we talked about in the ad. So number one, it was going to help them get to where they wanted to go. And number two, it was a free course. So again, it was very different to what they are usually seeing in the newsfeed of webinars, trainings, low ticket products. It was a legit free course, and all they had to do in return was give us some feedback. So it was a great no-brainer offer. It was quite different to what's out there in the marketplace. So the conversions went through the roof. The lead cost was some of the lowest lead costs that I've ever seen. And a big part of that was because we were offering something different to most of our competitors. But all those things work in unison. If you don't know your ideal avatar, then you're not going to be able to script a video that relates to the pain properly. And you're not going to be able to appeal to their desires properly by showing them what's possible. But even if you do all that stuff, but then your offer sucks at the end of the ad, then people probably aren't going to click and opt in either. And it's because we had those 4 components that we were able to get such a great return on ad spend. So thanks for watching the video. I appreciate you being here and watching. If you like the video, make sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.